down there, they remember it. They remember when somebody on national television calls you a Klansman and you're a federal law enforcement officer risking your life to keep this country safe. They remember that. So she was the wrong person to head this, but nobody is heading this. And the problem for Democrats, they start from a premise that the more illegal immigration we have, the better, because they believe if you let all the illegal immigrants in and then you make them all citizens, that they will eventually vote Democrat and keep Democrats in power. But they also don't understand incentives. So you hear Jen Psaki saying, well, we're just not going to keep kids, which is, of course, a lie because there's 16,000 kids in Biden cages right now. But they don't get the incentives that when they announce any child that comes can stay, that we will see, it's projected that over 100,000 unaccompanied minors will come in. And I've got to say, anyone that puts a little boy or little girl in the custody of a human trafficker, you know, Maria, 11, 12, 13-year-old girls are put on birth control pills before they come up because the odds are so high they'll get raped. That is not compassionate when the Biden administration has all these kids in the custody of traffickers.
This is so heartbreaking. Senator, before you go, this is just one part of a massive radical agenda. They want to get H.R. 1 through. You know, you would think that this humanitarian crisis is the #1 priority for Democrats, but it isn't. The #1 priority is making sure that they stay in power with this H.R. 1 election bill. Your thoughts on that, as well as filibuster? If they remove the filibuster, they'll be able to get the election H.R. 1 bill through and everything else, including stacking the Supreme Court.
Well, that's exactly right. And I think H.R. 1 is actually directly connected to this border crisis. You know, many are calling H.R. 1 the Corrupt Politicians Act because it is their #1 priority to keep Democrats in power for the next 100 years. And one of the most dangerous things that the Corrupt Politicians Act does is it automatically registers everyone to vote if you interact with the government. So if you get a welfare payment, if you get an unemployment payment, if you get a driver's license, if you go to a public college or university. Now, they know that that will automatically register millions of illegal aliens. That is the intended purpose of the bill, is to have millions of illegal aliens and millions of criminals, millions of felons automatically registered. This bill repeals every state law restricting voting rights for felons, because apparently Democrats think we'd be better off if more murderers and rapists and child molesters were voting. It also strikes down virtually every state election integrity law. So 29 states have voter ID laws. It strikes them all down, which facilitates fraud. It is a profoundly dangerous bill. In fact, I think the Corrupt Politicians Act is the single most dangerous bill before the United States Congress, and it is the #1 priority for Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi.
Unbelievable. Senator, thanks very much for all the breaking news this morning and for your work on this. Senator Ted Cruz. We're going to take a break and then talk with Louisiana Senator John Kennedy. He was also